Hello guys, I am back from another video and today we're talking about Deku was a super soldier. So in the last video of Deku, well, after Izuku was told that he's not going to be allowed in the sports festival because of his enhancements, Izuku just decides to just watch the whole sports festival while he's just um right next to the heroes and also the UA staff. So, while Izuku was watching the entire show, Izuku decides to go to the bathroom because he was a bit well, he really needs to piss. So, while Izuku was finished doing his business, Izuku saw some people from the Yakuza. After telling the UA staff about this, they decide to just do it later. But when Izuku also saw in the crowd several other members of the Yakuza, including Overhaul himself, the heroes go into action as they basically tell everybody to get out the area to battle the Yakuza. So, after the Yakuza show themselves, including Overhaul, the one that literally turned Izuku into a literal monster, or should I say a cyborg, Overhaul unveiled his brand new creation, another super soldier, and her name was Eri. She was given three different quirks: a invisibility quirk, a clone quirk, and finally a quirk called Toxic, which is basically like a poison quirk. So, after a bit of fighting between her and Izuku, Izuku got a shot in and shoots a bullet, cracking the mask of Eri and making her free of Overhaul's control. So, after Overhaul escapes, Izuku brings Eri back to his room and also was told by the UA staff that he's gonna be living with Eri as a big brother. So, yeah, that's basically what happened last episode. So, let's talk about what happens next. So, after Izuku wakes up, Izuku started getting ready for class. As when he's about to, leave, Izuku hears the sound of Eri, as Eri says this. Where am I? As Izuku just says this. So, Eri, I'm gonna be leaving, so it's better for you to just stay over there, okay? As she says this. Okay, brother. As after Izuku heard that, Izuku kind of blushed a little bit. As Izuku just says this. Yeah, whatever. So, after he leaves, he starts going to class. After seeing everybody, and everybody starts saying what happened to you, Izuku, during that fight at the sports festival, Izuku explains that the Yakuza arrived as they basically attacked them. As Izuku just explains that after the battle, Izuku met a girl, which is, interesting, as Nedry says this. Oh, really, a girl? Who was she? As Izuku just says this. Well, Overhaul said that she is my sister, or adopted sister. As everybody heard that, they see this. What? As Eri says this. I meant not Eri, I meant Nedry. Wait, do you have a sister? Where is she? As Izuku. God dang it. As Izuku explains that Eri, Izuku's adopted sister, is actually experimented on, and she instead of her only one of her limbs was left, instead all of her limbs were cut off and turned into just robotic ones, giving her extra mobility and extra power. As one of them, being Kaminari, says this. Whoa, that means she's like a cyborg. As Izuku just says this. I guess. But thankfully I took her helmet, which is controlling her, and basically set her free. Wait for a second again. So, after a while of talking, Aizawa arrives as he basically explains that they're gonna be starting off their brand new class with a bang. Specifically, they're gonna be starting off by getting ready to go to their internship, where they're gonna be going to, well, internships to different hero like agencies, and basically learning, well, several things, like for example like hero work, um like rescue, and also some other stuff. So after being told of that, he leaves as midnight arrives, saying that they're going to be starting off by making their hero names. So after being told of this, they started picking their hero names. While they were picking their hero names, it was finally Izuku's turn to pick. So, while Izuku was picking his hero name, Izuku found a great idea for his name. Because Izuku's original code name was Reaper, Izuku decided to make his name resemble that. So, when Izuku goes up to the podium, Izuku just says this. Izuku writes on the chalkboard, and everybody sees his code name, or hero name, as Izuku just says this. I am the hero born of darkness and hatred, and I will use this hatred to protect humanity, including you, including Hero Society itself. You can call me Thanatos. As they say this. What the heck is that name? As Bako said this. Yeah, it absolutely sounds lame. As Izuku explains that Thanatos in Greek mythology was a god of peaceful death. Just like his original villain name, or well, monster name, or should I say slave name or something like that. His original slave name or whatever is the Reaper, and Thanatos was basically the inspiration for the popular and also well-known Grim Reaper, as everybody thought of that name as a bit original and also thought it was really cool. Even, wait for a second, even Midnight was impressed, as she says that she can go, well, do whatever thing that she or he can do or whatever. So, after the end of the day, Izuku started going to his room, as he was approached by, wait for a second again, by All Might. So, All Might explains that he's gonna be going to a different hero agency because he was not participating in the sports festival. So, he basically explains that he's gonna be joining a different, well, hero agency, being the hero agency of his old partner. His name was Night Eye. So, after being told of this, Izuku started leaving. As he goes back to his room, as Izuku sees his sister, as his sister says this, brother, where am I? As Izuku just says this, oh, you're in my dorm room. You're gonna be staying here from now on. After all, Overhaul was, as she says this. I know, Overhaul was abusive. As Izuku just says this. How do you know that name? Or that word? As she looks at a dictionary. As Izuku just says this. Oh, yeah. I kind of left it there. Anyway, so, what are you gonna be doing now? As she says this. I'm gonna be staying here. After all, this brother's room. And I don't have anywhere to stay. As Izuku just says this. Okay, so what do you want to eat? As she says this. Porridge. As Izuku just says this. Porridge? As she says this. Yeah. So, after getting some ingredients for porridge, wait for a second. Izuku brings it to her as she says this. Thank you. As while she was eating, Izuku decides to eat some just basically some instant noodles. Izuku started chowing down, as after finishing it, Izuku goes to sleep with Eri. So, when Izuku wakes up, Izuku starts going to the agency that he was assigned to, being Night Eye's agency. So, Izuku packed all of his things and also told that, well, wait for a second. Also told Aizawa that he should, well, babysit, Eri. Aizawa just said this. Why am I supposed to just take care of this child? As Izuku just says this. Well, I guess it's kind of okay, I guess. I mean, you seem to be like a fatherly figure. I meant a fatherly figure, I guess. As he says this. Hmm, sure. So, after that, it's basically like, we go back to Izuku just going to like, to the agency. So, when Izuku arrives there, Izuku sees, well, Nedry there, as Nedry says this. Oh, hello Izuku, as Izuku just says this. Nedry, I didn't know that you're here, as she says this. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be internshipping here, so, what a coincidence. As Izuku sees Night Eye, as Night Eye says this. So, you must be the, well, the boy, as Izuku just says this. Can you please stop calling me that and just call me Izuku? As he says this. Very well. As Izuku sees Mirio, as Mirio says this. Huh, Izuku, I didn't know that you're going to be internshipping here. As Izuku just says this. Yeah, I was told to because, you know, I wasn't supposed to join the UA Sports Festival. As he says this. Oh, cool, I guess. Anyway, so I can't wait for you to internshipping here. You'll be great here, as Izuku just says this. Okay. So wait for a second again. So Night Eye tells Izuku and Neji to go to his office, as he basically explains what is currently happening right in his like city. Apparently, several Yakuza members have been annoying and also disturbing the peace of his like city. So he tells Izuku and Nedry to basically just patrol the city, and if he sees like, or if they see like members of the Yakuza, they should attack them and also bring them to justice. So after being told of that, they started leaving as they start patrolling the city. So they've been, well, doing at this for like a few like days. It's basically pretty easy. They basically defeat the Yakuza member and bring them to, well, to the jail or like the local police. So, after a while, it's finally the final day of their internship. It was tiring at least, but it was interesting, I guess. So, wait for a second again. So, they're basically at a cafe, just drinking some coffee and also just eating some like treats there, because it was pretty peaceful right now. As in, for now, as in that there's gonna be some trouble very soon. So, while they're in the cafe, Izuku orders some, like, a little like chocolate cake and some like latte or something, as for Nedry and for, well, wait for a second, Mirio, he decides to get some like just some generic looking food, I guess. While they were eating, they basically get a distress call from Night Eye. So Night Eye tells both Izuku and the rest of his like well, members of his like little team or squad that there is a bit of trouble in another town, specifically another agency run by Endeavor. As after being told of this, they started leaving the cafe and also paying them. So they basically leave as they were going back to the like to the agency. They were told that they're gonna be going there instantly with the help of another hero, being a hero with a teleportation quirk, similar to um similar to Konagiri basically, but except without the like the boy or the hero doesn't have like a like that gas face or whatever. So After teleporting them to their destination, they saw a gigantic war, basically. Like, several members of the Yakuza were basically fighting the members of the League of Villains. And I think it's because, well, Overhaul did steal some of the quirks from, you know, from All for One. Because back in the day, the quirks were basically like, or the stolen quirks were stored in these like capsules, basically. So, after they saw that, the gigantic battle, Izuku sees one of the heroes and the hero that was bringing that distress call to Night Eye, being Endeavor himself. Endeavor tells the rookie heroes to basically try and fight off these villains. So, after being told of this, they started getting ready to attack them. So, the battle rages as Izuku was fighting several members of the Yakuza. The Yakuza recognized him as they basically backed off because they don't want to get, like, smashed into the ground. So, Izuku decides to pump up his lethal dosage of his, gun and start shooting off his full Hysterious, quirk gas. So, after shooting at the Nomus that were charging towards, some of his, heroes, not really heroes, more like friends, being Mirio and, not Jiro, I meant Nedry, they were instantly afraid. The Nomus started screaming and convulsing after they were inhaling the gas, as Izuku tells both of them to cover their noses or stop breathing. Not like literal stop breathing to the point that they die, not like that. They basically rip off a piece of their hero costume and basically start wrapping it around their nose. So after the battle, they stop as they think the battle's over. But unfortunately, it's still raging on, as Izuku sees Overhaul fighting against, well, wait for a second, as Izuku sees a Nomu version of Shigaraki, as Konagiri commands him to basically kill Overhaul. He starts charging towards him with a maul content to kill, waiting and ravaging him, trying to kill him, but he keeps getting stabbed by several rocks that, well, Overhaul is basically summoning out. Izuku, after seeing this, Izuku decides to just watch them fight. So, while Izuku was watching them fight, Izuku hears a scream in the alleyway. So, instead of watching them, Izuku just decides to go down into the alleyway, and sees two heroes, being Ida and the hero native, fighting against this man with several swords, knives, and other such bladed weapons upon his body. And he seems to be wearing a mask similar to the Ninja Turtle. Or the Ninja Turtles. Yeah, that's what he looks like. As he says this. Another fake. Wait a minute. You're that boy. The so-called Reaper, right? As Izuku just says this. I'm sorry, but I'm no longer a Reaper. I'm a Reaper of Justice. You can call me Thanatos. And I would rather if you don't call me by that stupid name. As... Oh, wait for a second again. As Ida says this. No, let me fight. Ugh, my leg. I don't feel anything. As Izuku just says this. Ida, what did you do to him? As he says this. Don't worry. He'll be dead soon enough. That fake hero. As Izuku just says this. Fake? Fake? He was acting so kind. He even protected many people before. As he says this. Shut up. My name is Stain. And I am the hero killer. Killer of all fake and stupid and greedy heroes like him. And you're just the same as him. Disgusting. As he starts charging towards Izuku, getting ready to slice him in half. Izuku uses his lance to slash at him, or block his sword from cutting his face, but Izuku gets a little bit of, well, his face grazed. Izuku's not wearing his mask at the time, unfortunately. So, as Izuku sees his, blood was, dripping from his face, well, Stain licks his blood from his blade. As Izuku feels his entire body, like, stops moving. As Izuku just says this, what in the... I can't move my body! As Stain says this, easy. Now, time for you to die, you damn fake hero. As Izuku just says this, wait, I can... As Izuku grabs him by his robotic arm and legs, as Izuku just says this, I think I could still move my robotic limbs. As Izuku throws him right across the alleyway and smashing him into the wall, causing... wait for a second again. Sorry about that, it was just another glitch. So, Izuku, after throwing him across the alleyway, it causes him to get knocked out. He crashes into the wall. As Izuku looks over and sees Native and Ida. So, after Ida decides to, tell Izuku to just leave him alone because he wants to kill Stain, Izuku tells him that vengeance doesn't mean that he has to kill a person. Even though he wants to kill, Overhaul. But Izuku is trying to be an example. So, after Ida sees it, hears his speech, he says this. You're right. I was just blinded by... Sorry about that, wait for it. You're right. I was blinded by vengeance that I forgotten who I really was. A hero. I'm sorry, Izuku. I failed you. As Izuku just says this, you're not failing anybody. You're just trying to... just doing whatever you can to save your, or at least, avenge your brother. But anyway, let's just bring him to justice. So, after seeing him just knocked out, not Overhaul, I meant, Stain, Izuku, tells Native to give him, a handcuffs. So, after handcuffing him, Izuku started leaving out of that alleyway as Izuku sees the rest of the battle between Nomu Shigaraki and Overhaul. The battle was fierce, as Ida says this. What, we're supposed to just fight them? As Izuku just says this. No, we're just gonna be watching them. As Native says this. Are you serious? As Izuku just says this. Yeah, I'm not fighting them. I'm not really that powerful yet. So, while they were fighting, Nomu Shigaraki stabs into, Overhaul. As Overhaul starts, regenerating his, body thanks to his quirk, and also starts making, a golem-like body. Basically, made out of concrete and stone from around the entire, battlefield that they're basically fighting in. So, while they were fighting, wait for a second. Konigiri sees that several of the heroes arrived, and they're about to get ready to, arrest them. As Konigiri says this, Shigaraki, we should leave now. As Shigaraki acts almost like a servant, unlike him back then, back when he was just a noisy little child, making, Konigiri do whatever he wants. Instead, it's now the other way around. Now, Konigiri is now bossing Shigaraki. So, after that, he basically disappears, bringing the Nomu Shigaraki with him. As for Overhaul, he disappears as well, by using his quirk to create a tunnel and also blocking off the entrance to that tunnel. So, after that, the heroes decide that it's finally over the internships. So, after that, Ezekiel goes back to his room, his dorm room, and sees Eri there with Aizawa. As Aizawa just says this. So, how was your internship week? As Izuku just says this. Tiring. I just want to get some sleep. As Izuku just basically just flops himself onto the floor as he's basically all tired out. As Aizawa just says this. Problem child. As Eri says this. Goodbye, Mr. Aizawa. As he says this. See ya. So, after he leaves, well, Eri decides to sleep on the bed by herself because she doesn't want to disturb Izuku while he's sleeping. And this is going to be the end of the episode, and I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.